Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Medeek Floor plugin. My name is Nathaniel P. Wilkerson, and today I want to discuss a few more updates to the floor module here, well, specifically the floor covering module. So I've gone ahead and put these two toolbars right here just so you can see which toolbars I'm accessing a little easier and just make it clear that I'm specifically dealing here with the floor plugin. So this is the main toolbar, and then this is the floor coverings toolbar. All right, so what I've done is I've gone ahead and added yet another draw mode for the floor coverings. So prior in the previous video, I showed you guys how to use points and how to use a face to define your perimeter for your floor covering. But now we have one more option added. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump into that by clicking this draw tool here. And so you'll notice here when you first pull it up that you have this little icon here right here in the corner, upper right hand corner, and usually it's going to be set to polyline. So by clicking on that, and now by the way, you can use a hotkey, and this is the reason why I actually enable this clickable link here, is because I can't even, off the top of my head, I can't even remember what the hotkey was because I'm so used to clicking on this now. So anyways, click on this, you go to face mode, which is the same as before, but now if you click a third time, you go to the wall draw mode. So you've got three separate modes, and then of course if you click again, you're back, it'll just toggle you all the way through. So let's go back to the wall mode. I think I'll just go ahead and set that 0.5 maybe. Okay, so let's just go ahead and set this just basically the defaults here. Now you see as you mouse over each wall, you are highlighting the face of the wall. And to make this a little easier, let's go ahead and just turn on the gypsum and the cladding, or the sheathing at least, just so we can see those wall surfaces easier. Either way, it doesn't really matter, but I think it just helps to make it easier to select the wall because now you're not actually mousing through the studs, you're mousing on the surface. Okay, so it will highlight green, and that allows you to select that wall. So we'll go ahead and select it. And you can wrap around in a logical order, either clockwise or counterclockwise, it doesn't really matter. Let's just start with this wall. As soon as you select it, you'll notice it's going to turn purple, and then you go ahead and select the next wall. Now, if you were to select this wall, like let's say over here, and it didn't actually connect kind of this wall, you'll notice that it will not allow you to do that. It will just, it'll reject the selection, and then you're back to seeing this face as green. That is by default. I set the behavior up to try to logically link these walls together. So let's go ahead and we're just wrapping ourselves around here real quickly. And here we go, the final wall. And sometimes it's a little tricky if you can get your wall face, but it will click the right wall face there. Okay, so there you go. There's that carpet, and now we're going to go ahead and fill this room in here. All right, so we'll go ahead and click this again. I'm going to go ahead and set that to tile. Just leave the default. Let's go with the backer board. Man, hardy backer is our material. All right, same thing here. Let's just click one of these walls. Click that wall and that wall. And you can see I'm going pretty quickly now as compared to trying to select the points. And of course, that's the whole reason for this, is because if you're selecting these walls, it's a lot easier and quicker just to quickly throw down some floor coverings inside of your rooms than it is to meticulously click these points down in these corners, which of course can be done. There's nothing against that, but there's a few reasons obviously to do it this way. Number one is speed, and number two is now these actual floor coverings are linked to these walls. So initially when I was programming this, I was going to do like a fire and forget sort of system where you select the walls and then it figures out the points, and then it basically uses those points to define your perimeter. However, I decided, well, this makes sense to actually have them linked to the walls, because what happens now if you move these walls, right? So let's go ahead and try that. In fact, what I'm going to do is turn off the sheathing and the cladding just to show you a little easier what's going on here. So if you zoom in here, you'll see that there's a gap, and there's a gap on that inside as well. So what's happening is under the hood, the plugin is storing each one of these wall assembly names, and then when it actually creates this floor covering, or you regen it or edit it, it's going to look at each one of these assemblies. First, it's going to look each one up, and then it's going to check and see, whether you have gypsum enabled or sheathing enabled, and how thick that gypsum or sheathing is, and then it will adjust that accordingly. Okay. So to show you that, let's go ahead and just edit this here wall assembly. And you can see this one here is defined by 6 walls. And also you'll notice that the wall side parameter is showing interior, interior, exterior, exterior, interior, interior. Okay, so and it corresponds with each one of these walls assemblies. So what's happening here actually is that on these 2 interior walls, there always is an interior and exterior to any wall assembly, regardless if it's interior or exterior. There will be an outside face and an inside face. So, like for instance, I could change, and by the way, you can go in here and manually edit these to your heart's content. Like if I change that to interior, now look what happened. See, now it's placing this edge of this carpet on the inside face, obviously offset by the gypsum. Of course, that's not what we want, but I'm just showing you that ability to edit this is there if you need it. Okay. So now the question is, well, what happens if you get this messed up, or let's say you delete one of these wall assemblies? What happens is under the hood, the plugin is actually saving not only the wall connections in its little database, but it's also saving the points that are defined currently. So it has that to fall back on. So for whatever reason, your wall database or wall linking database gets messed up or somehow unlinked, then it will fall back to those points. Mind you too that when you try to use the move floor covering tool, that is relying upon the points. So if you're in wall mode, then actually this tool right here will not work for this floor covering. It is defined by the walls and is not defined by the points. So it's one or the other, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and just test this out a little bit. We're going to move, let's say, this wall panel here. So we'll use the wall move tool, and we're just going to bump it out, let's say 8 feet. Okay, so now we see the walls moved. Now we're going to also move the floor itself out. So we'll go ahead and select that edge. Just come over here, we can grab this grid easily enough. Okay, so now we've adjusted the floor itself and we've adjusted the walls. Now because the walls are linked to the floor coverings, we should be able to just click this regen button here and regen each one of these. If we can mouse over that. And there you go. It heals itself. It's readjusted now, these floor coverings, to the walls that they're defined by. So that is the point of basically this other mode. I call it the wall mode versus the point mode. And yeah, I think it offers some advantages in that way. Number one, it's quicker to lay down floor coverings just based on the walls. And also, they're now essentially linked to the walls themselves, and so they will adjust accordingly. The only downside currently is, as you can see, we have situations like this where you have an opening. Now, I haven't addressed this quite yet. Granted, on an outside opening like this, if we were to turn on the wall door layer here, see if I can find that. So like this, you have a threshold, right? An exterior door, for instance. And so, the carpet or the tile or the hardwood, whatever, that's not going to extend into the opening. That's not an issue. But however, in an interior door, you typically do not have a threshold. And so now what, right? We're not actually extending the tile or the carpet automatically into that opening. So that is a limitation right now with this mode of drawing or handling floor coverings. The issue really here isn't that I couldn't have it find openings and automatically, figure out, what extension needs to go in there. The question really is how do I know which openings that the user wants to extend into, right? I mean, do I want the carpet coming in here or do I want the tile coming in here? So it's really more of a management issue. more so than a programming or coding issue, because all of this data I can pull from the wall assemblies themselves, and so I could calculate it all out. So I'm looking at that. I will see if I can figure out a way to manage it, and once I do, then I will go ahead and code that in there probably and have that available to you as a user. So yeah, just one limitation. I wanted to make you guys aware of that. All right, that's pretty much it, I guess, for this new update. Just wanted to show you guys how to use the wall mode. And again, if you click edit here, you will see, like on these, sorry, I'm trying to mouse over this guy. You'll see that, you know, this particular tile surface is controlled by these 4 walls. And, you know, if you, like, for instance, let's say you have this set up and you have it associated with these walls, you can always switch it to the points mode, hit update, and now it is now no longer assigned to these 4 walls. And if you use the move tool, then it will adjust accordingly. But for instance, if you haven't deleted any of these walls and you want to reassign it back to them, it's keeping that data in the database. So if you want to turn that back on, then it's still there for you. Right. All right. I think that's it. And again, this update was actually made because of feedback from some comments from users like yourself, and I really appreciate it. I mean, this is what is driving the development of these plugins. So if you've got any ideas or suggestions that would make these better, I'm always willing and open to making those improvements. So we will talk to you guys later. Thank you.